Hey everybody. I'm going live a couple minutes early. I was really trying to get to go live like a half hour early today and it didn't work out. So it is what it is. Oh my goodness. I cannot even focus today. So let me just complain. The white balance on this camera is really, really annoying. I look weird. Tell me what you guys think. Do I look pink or like magenta? I don't know. Like it's bugging me. I spent a lot of money buying a new phone so I could have this fancy new camera for doing live video, and I just feel like it was complete waste. I looked just fine on the other one. So, I don't know. Maybe it's YouTube that does that blurry skin. I don't know. So anyway, we just got our schedule for Shakespeare coming up for my next Shakespeare show. And I know that it seems like I'm always doing something, but I have a lot of kids. Now this is the 12-year-olds Shakespeare show that's going to be in May. Practices are starting today, and I have to leave in about a half an hour to go take him up there. So I can't talk for a whole hour today. I can only do a half an hour. Yeah. Anyway. So I see you guys are telling me stuff about the wash, how I look. So I have checked every setting on this camera thing. I have changed everything. I have tried to fix the white balance. It will not fix. I have turned off every filter, and yet I'm still being filtered. I don't know. The glare is from my window. My window is open. That's beside the point. But I feel like I looked better on the other one. I don't know. I'm going to have to look on my computer later and compare the two and see, maybe it's just the screen itself is just more blue. I don't know. I'm more picky probably than most being a photographer. I want the white balance to not make me look like I have dead skin. I want to be peachy, not green. Yeah. And I think YouTube does the smoothing, because I'll tell you what, I was just looking at myself on the selfie cam and it didn't look like that. I think YouTube has its own filter. That is interesting. You guys, have any of you guys done live? I wonder if you think that YouTube has a filter. Let me know. If you're watching this later, let me know. All right, so, la. It's annoying to spend $150 or whatever it was on this stupid phone and feel disappointed, but the forward camera or the back camera is pretty cool, but I can't really use that for live because I have to be able to see you guys over there, what you're saying. So I can't just set it up and talk, because that would be kind of beside the point. So what do you guys want to talk about? What do you want to know? How are you feeling today? Is there anything on your mind? All that kind of stuff. Doesn't have to be keto. Can be anything. We can chat. Keto's on your mind? Good. All right. How are you doing with your keto, Jamila? How are you doing with your keto? Okay. So, Keto Shine On, welcome. I haven't seen you here before. She says, sorry if this is a repeated question, but can I share my macros? Yes, I have used the same macros from the very, very beginning. I got the macros from the site who shall not be named. If you missed my You're Fired video, you can figure out where that came from. Ironically, we reworked our macros when we started our new Facebook group. And mine ended up almost exactly the same, probably because I'm an average size woman, just right in the middle. So for my height, which is 5'7", I use the macros 120 protein, 78 fat, and 21 carbs. On our new macro chart that is on my Keto Chaos Facebook group, my macros would be 120, 80 fat, 20 carbs. So not much difference there. So pretty much try and stick to those. But if you've watched my videos this month, you know I have not stuck to those macros. I have eaten whatever I felt like eating. And so, except for carbs, I've eaten keto. except for carbs. So yeah, I've eaten a lot more protein, probably I would say about 150 a day and probably close to 100 fat every day this month. And I'm still losing weight, which is crazy. All right, let's see. So how many carbs are you allowed to stay in ketosis? According to Dr. Finney, under 50 carbs should get you into ketosis. And that's 50 total, I think. But if you just want to guarantee that you're going to be in ketosis and not have to worry about testing or anything like that, stick to under 20. I just advocate under 20 as much as possible, mostly just because it makes it a little easier if you don't have to worry about the carbs in your diet. Because if you are trying to fit in a little cookie here or a little piece of bread here to fit under 50 carbs, it's just a slippery slope. It's best to eliminate all grains and only get your carbs from veggies and things like that. So below 50. H. Nicole asks, can anyone join the Facebook group? Yep. The link is on pretty much every video I post. It won't be on this one for a minute. I can give it to you, but basically it's facebook.com/groups/keto chaos. And you can just go request to join. You have to answer 2 questions, whether or not you're going to be kind to each other and whether or not you're going to try and sell stuff. If you're not going to do either of those things, don't ask to join my group. But those are the questions I ask. So let's see. Someone asked me about my adoption story. I don't want to talk too much about it because I know people are here for keto. I can tell you a little bit. Of course, number 1, God led me to adoption. It was on my heart when I was pregnant with my 2nd son, and I just couldn't let it go. And by the time my 3rd son was a year, I had basically talked my husband's ear off about adoption for 4 years straight. And he finally agreed to do it because he just knew I was not going to let it go, because God was not going to let it go off of my heart, because this particular child was supposed to be in my family. Now, there's a lot of corruption in international adoption. I didn't know about any of that when I started. I know that adoption can be really a hot button issue now. And my daughter, thankfully, does not suffer from any anger issues about her adoption and things like that. She's kind of the awesomest person on the planet. I mean, I'm honored to know her and to be her mom. I just am not worthy. But we adopted her from India when she was 3 years old, and it was just a series of events that led to us finding her there. I don't know why we chose India other than God led me there. I mean, it's such a random place to choose. It's just because she was there. And we found her on a waiting child listing. We hadn't even started a home study. We knew nothing. We had no money. And God just blessed us. It took us about 3 months to get all the paperwork, the home study done, and the dossier ready to send over to India. And it took about a year from that point to get her home. She was 3 years old. On her birthday is the day we met her. And she was 3 years old that day. It was a rough first year. It was definitely not easy for either of us, but both of us are grateful and can't believe it's almost over. She turns 17 in the summer, and I'm kind of like all angsty. She's all grown up, and I remember a time when we first adopted her that I was so scared of her, and I was thinking, what have we done? I'm never going to survive 18 years of this. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to mess her up. And let's just say that I didn't. And now we're both of us, sad that it's almost over. Our mom and me time is almost over. I'm so excited because next week is going to be her dance competition, and so it's going to be all about her, not the little girls. And I'm going to get to spend the whole day just watching her dance and enjoying that as a mom. And anyway, okay, I told you I wasn't going to go on and on, but I just absolutely adore my daughter. She is just a gem. Okay, back to keto. Okay, Amanda W. says she's trying to understand intermittent fasting, but the videos that she's seen so far make it super complicated. Okay, basically the point of intermittent fasting is to give your body a rest from digestion so that it can focus on building your muscles and rebuilding and healing your body. If you've heard the word autophagy, that is what it's referred to. Supposedly, if you do extended fasting, the autophagy can rebuild your entire body. Dr. Finney says be careful with long-term fasting because you can cause a permanent metabolic rate lowering. So you don't want to mess with that if you can help it. It's not super complicated. Basically, you're going to keep your eating window between 8 hours. So wherever you start and wherever you end, you're only going to eat in that 8 hours. It is best to eat only 2 meals just because you give yourself time between and you stimulate muscle protein synthesis twice. I did a video a few weeks back on muscle protein synthesis. If you're curious about that, you could technically stimulate it 3 times in that 8-hour window. So if you did a meal at, let's say, noon, a meal at 4, and a meal at 8, you could stimulate muscle protein synthesis 3 times and still stay in your window. If that's too complicated, just stick to 2 meals. 2 meals is all you need. Try and get them in the 8-hour window. I don't always make it in the 8-hour window because of my schedule. I try and eat as late as possible, usually afternoon, and then I tend to eat anywhere between 8:30 and 10:30 p.m. just because that's when I get home and I want to eat a home-cooked meal. I most of the time do not prefer to eat food on the go, though lately I have been doing that a lot. So basically, intermittent fasting is just giving your body a 16-hour rest so that it can stop focusing on digestion and focus on rebuilding your muscles, rebuilding yourself, healing your body. And that's the point of doing it. I hope that makes sense. Let's see. Several people are saying that keto is going horribly for them. And Monica specifically says keto's on her mind, but it's going horribly, but she's not going to give up. Monica, tell me what macros you're using. Anyone who's having trouble. So if you want to know anything specific for you, I want you to let me know what macros you're currently using, what your electrolyte numbers are that you're currently hitting, and how long you have been doing the keto way of eating. If you can give me that info, I can help you. While I'm here on the live, I have a few more minutes left, and I'm happy to do that. And if I miss you, please feel free to comment later or message me. You can message me privately on my Keto Chaos Facebook page, not the group, the page. You can message me privately on my personal Facebook, but I'm not as likely to respond to those messages as I am if you send it to the Keto Chaos page. So give me that info and I will try and figure that out. Okay. Hey, Verity. Hey, long time no see. How you doing? Oh my gosh, I haven't been able to go watch anybody's videos in so long, so I don't even know how anybody is doing. Oh, yeah, anyway. LM asks, what are the macros based on? Finney? Yes. So Dr. Stephen Finney put out an article recently on his blog, his Virta Health blog, VIRTA health.com, and gave a specific protein amount, which is 1.8 to 2 grams per kilogram of lean body mass. So we basically took that and we got the average lean body mass for height and we determined the protein number for that. Then we determined a caloric restriction of 35%, and that's where we got the fats, and we kept everyone's carbs at 20. The taller you are, the more carbs you can technically eat. Our macros are, a loose base. You don't have to follow them exactly. Also, my macro chart is free to share with the world. So if you want it, you can email me if you don't want to join the Facebook group at ketochaos@gmail.com. And I will send it to you, and you can give it to whomever you would like, or you can download it on my Facebook group and share it with whomever. You do not have to be on my Facebook group. It is not copyrighted. It does not belong to me. It is based on the science of Finney and Volek to the best of my and my moderators' knowledge and abilities. And we don't profess to be doctors or dietitians, so, do with it what you will. Okay. T.A. Lindsay asks, do you make keto coffee? She says she has one every day with butter, coconut cream, whipping cream, plus coffee. Is that too much fat? I do not personally do bulletproof anything. I do not like to drink my fats. Mostly because if you remember, if you've watched my video on fat in weight loss, in fat loss, is a lever. In what you are eating with fat, your fats will be higher if you are in maintenance phase and lower if you are in fat loss phase. So my fats are at 78. I can usually get that just from my food. And so I don't really want to drink my fats. Occasionally, and I mean occasionally, I will put a little bit of heavy whipping cream in my Creo brew in the morning. My Creo brew, Criobru, is roasted cocoa beans because I don't actually drink coffee. But sometimes I will put a little bit of heavy whipping cream. But my advice to you, if your goal is fat loss, is to not drink your fats. But I know like Verity from Crazy Keto Girl, the higher protein, lower fat did not work for her and she had to switch back. So I also can't tell you you can't put it in there. So, do what you want. That's the beauty of me no longer being with the site who must not be named, because I can tell you to do whatever you want to do and whatever works for you, and nobody's going to get annoyed with me. So, well, maybe you guys will, but nobody from that group can be annoyed with me anymore because I don't represent them anymore. Okay. Keto Cricket says, I might want to say that I am doing under 20 net for veggies and yogurt. Yeah, technically net gets tricky. I do personally use net for veggies. I do set my chronometer at net, but I don't eat any bars or ketofied cookies or snacks or things like that where fiber can be put in there in order to bring the carb count down. So I try and keep it to veggies and yogurt only. If you've missed my info on yogurt, I did a video a couple weeks back. It's called Is Yogurt Keto, if you want to search it. And it talks about how I track my yogurt. Oh my gosh, Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto, is at my live chat. Hello, my beautiful. And she says that she was adopted. Well, that is fantastic. I love that little tidbit of knowledge. I love getting to know you guys on YouTube. It's fun to know your stories a little bit and stuff like that. Jamila says that she had 3 boys and she's thinking about adopting a girl. That is actually the reason I did it. It was the reason I originally did it. I now have 4 girls, so I ended up with quite a few of them. She is my only adopted child. It's not how we planned it. We actually planned to adopt a couple more, but it just didn't work out because I guess it wasn't supposed to. She was just supposed to be my one shining light, I guess. But Jamila says I seem like a very good mother, and I would like to say I do my best. And I will say, this is the internet. I can present any kind of persona that I choose to present. In real life, I am not the nicest person on the planet. People often can read my emotions off my face, and so if I get upset, people always think I'm super peeved, and there's a lot of things about me that are annoying in real life. On YouTube, I can be as nice as I want. I'm not always the nicest. I swore in front of my kids the other day and felt terrible. I mean, my house is a giant mess. You can't tell because, you guys, there's mess everywhere. I would totally show you, but it's really that bad. We don't ever get to cleaning the house. We're spending too much time at the dance studio. But this is the thing. Whatever is your priority when you're a mom, whatever you feel the most inspired about is what you should spend your time doing. And my kids, they don't mind living in a little bit messy house in order for having more time to devote to the things that they love. And I love watching them do the things that they love. So yeah, I would consider myself to be a pretty good mom. I definitely have my moments of huge mistakes, but I always apologize and I always fess up for them because my kids know and you guys know, no one is perfect. We aren't meant to be perfect. The whole point of us being on this planet is to learn to be better. But we can't ever be perfect because it's just not possible. So that's my tidbit for you there on motherhood. Jamila says she still does not know what to eat. Be sure to join the Facebook group. We have a lot of conversations about that over there. But basically, you just need to stick to meat, veggies, and cheese. That's it. Don't eat any crazy stuff. Don't try and go crazy with recipes. Keep it simple. You know, in the morning, do some eggs and bacon, and at lunch, do some chicken and veggies, and at dinner, do some steak and veggies. It's really, really simple. If you start with that, as you get the hang of it, as you get the hang of weighing your food, tracking your food, just seeing what you would normally eat, and just looking at it on your chronometer app, you're going to change it, and you're going to tweak it, and you'll get the hang of it. And then you can start doing more things and being more creative and that kind of thing with what you eat. But from the very beginning, meats, veggies, and some cheese. Stick to that. Okay, so Lisa Urbanski says, I've been trying to start keto for a while. I'm looking to do the version you were doing. My problem has been giving up the sugary drinks. I don't seem to like the sugar alternatives in diet drinks. Yeah, that can be tricky. My best advice to you, if it's something that you're craving, is to just let it go entirely. Don't do artificial sweeteners. In fact, I wouldn't do artificial sweeteners the whole entire first month that you are starting out, and maybe even longer. Diet sodas, things like that, especially if they're triggers for you. Diet soda was never really a trigger for me. I didn't really miss the sugary drinks. But anything that I did find myself missing, I purposely did not make a ketofied version or find a ketofied version of those things. For example, gummy bears we've talked about in the past that are my trigger. I have not tried any keto gummy bears that people keep telling me that they have and they exist, but I am not going to do that yet because I don't think I'm quite ready for that. If sugary drinks are your trigger, you have to just let them go. Cravings are like cats. If you feed them, they will never go away. Even if you're feeding them in an alternate way that's safe, you're never going to get rid of that craving. So my advice to you is just resolve. Distract. Exercise your no muscle. Look at those drinks and say, I'm choosing not to have those anymore. I'm choosing me over those sugary drinks. And just doing that over time, you'll get to the point where you won't miss them anymore. It just takes about 2 weeks to get that sugar cravings kind of moving away from the system. So, okay, so I do have email, ketochaos@gmail.com. So if you need the macros chart, just message me. Keto Ruby says, I can't get over that you did not track last week and you lost so much weight. Okay, well, first of all, if you've looked back at my past few months, I have been gaining and losing in a pattern. So the week before my cycle starts, I tend to drop a lot of weight, all the water weight. During my cycle, I tend to hold or stay the same. The week following my cycle, I tend to gain 4 pounds. The second week, I tend to stay up 4 pounds or gain, depending on the situation. And then the week before my cycle again, I drop all of that weight. Last week, for some strange reason, I dropped when it wasn't my normal time to drop in that cycle. And this week was my normal time to drop. And now I am gone into my cycle week. So it's gonna probably stay the same. But I did eat a lot more salad because someone told me that if you eat more salad, it helps the water retention. And with that stupid water retention going up and down, I'm willing to try anything. If you'll notice, since I was eating out, I ate a salad like a lot. So I don't know if it was the salad, but honestly, it's just water. My weight just keeps going down. I can see it all over myself. I woke up this morning and I was like, what on earth? I look so much thinner. It's like overnight difference. And I mean, I went back to tracking the last couple of days. Maybe that's part of it. But I think even with all of the food I ate, I was just still eating at a deficit. So, and I kind of know in my head, after doing this for 15 months, I kind of know, I can eat about this much food in the morning and I'm good. Because especially my breakfast, I know exactly what macros my breakfast has because I eat it every day. It's about 60 protein, 35 fat, and about 9 carbs if I don't half my yogurt, which I don't always take off half the yogurt. So that's my typical breakfast almost every single day. And then I know that I can have about 6 to 8 ounces of meat and be good. And so when I would go out, I would order 6 to 8 ounces of meat, or as close as I could get to it, some veggies and some salad. So I tended to go over my fat because I did eat hot wings a few times, and I got dressings on my salad that I didn't track. And so I know I went over my fats, but I was unconsciously tracking. Even though I didn't put it in my app, I know I was still eating at a deficit, regardless of eating a little extra here and there. Does that make sense? So I don't know why it worked. It worked. It's still going down. I've actually saw 216 on the scale today. Watch it go back up 4 pounds by Sunday. I shouldn't even tell you guys when the scale goes down because it always goes back up. But I know it's just water because I'm not eating anything I'm not spiking my insulin. So I'm not giving my body the ability to pack on fat. I'm also not giving it enough calories to do that. So it's like literally not possible. So I just have to trust, and that's what I've been doing. And wow, this last week, it was like, whoa, exciting. All right. Keto Heather says, I have been keto for a year. She takes 2,000 to 3,000 milligrams a day of potassium, 4,000 milligrams of magnesium. Wow, that is a lot of magnesium. And 2 teaspoons of salt. What kind of salt? If it's Himalayan, 2 teaspoons would be 1,600 times. That's only 3,200 milligrams of sodium-ish. She's always hungry. So, okay, I would advise you to stick with your potassium if it's good for you. I don't think you need 4,000 milligrams of magnesium. I mean, I can't believe you're not in the bathroom constantly with that amount of magnesium. I mean, like my recommendation for magnesium is like 300 to 700 milligrams. So I'm hoping that's a typo and it's really 400. And I would add another teaspoon of salt. If you're hungry, you probably need some sodium. I know that there are some people who recommend doing more potassium and less, and just getting salt from food. I don't recommend that because I just feel like potassium is dangerous. But if your sodium is not high enough, which apparently it's probably not, you're dropping all that potassium anyway, and it's doing you no good. Because when your sodium drops too low, your potassium is the first thing to go. So keep that potassium level if it's been working for you, but raise your sodium level. You need to hit a minimum of 5,000 milligrams of sodium. And once you hit that, you should not be hungry if you are eating your macros. If you are not snacking and you're just eating your 2 meals or your 3 meals, and you're tracking everything, you should be fine. If you're not tracking everything, definitely join my Facebook group and start tracking. Being hungry is almost always a sign of low sodium electrolyte imbalance. You just not tend to be hungry on keto because your body gets to the point where it goes, oh yeah, I don't really need to tell her to eat because I've got oodles of energy right here. Does that make sense? So being hungry is usually a sign you're missing something that your body can't get from the fat on you. And that's usually your electrolytes. Okay. Let's see. Hungry people. So many hungry people. All right. Get Fit for Me says, you're looking great. What's your ultimate goal weight? I don't really have a set goal weight. I mean, I have like these weird, vague dream goals, like under 140 pounds. That probably won't ever happen. 150 would probably be pretty good on me at my height, but I don't know. I'm planning to just go until I feel I'm ready to stop. And when I choose to stop, I am not going to stop keto. I'm just going to raise my fats up until I stop losing. So at that point, you'll see me eating a lot more fat. And who knows if I'll drink bulletproof coffee. Now, I won't drink coffee, but bulletproof something. I don't know. It depends on, I might be eating prime rib every night. Yummy. Okay, and if you're drinking 100 ounces of water a day, you're probably drinking too much water. So the trick with keto and hydration, number 1 is to get all of your electrolytes in. And number 2, to not flush any extra electrolytes out. So if you're keeping your levels balanced, just drink to thirst. Don't consume excess water that you're just consuming in order to flush the fat out of your system. That technically does happen, but on keto, you're always flushing. And if you drink too much water, you're going to flush extra, and then you're going to have to eat extra salt and get more potassium. So yeah, don't overdo it on the water. That could be causing your issues as well. Drink to thirst. If you're thirsty, drink. If you're not, don't. Okay, let's see. PJB Burke said you could increase the fats to quell the hunger. Yes, you can. So if you're doing the lower fat version and you're good on your electrolytes and you're still hungry, yes, you can raise your fats up until you're not hungry anymore. But if you just stop losing, then you're eating at maintenance and you need to lower your calories again. And the best way to lower your calories is to lower your fats. Use that fat as a lever. Find your happy place. All right. Did I do keto while pregnant? I didn't. I actually did keto before my second to last baby, and during that pregnancy I did stay sugar-free, but I was not completely carb-free. I don't recommend necessarily doing it while pregnant. I think you could do it while breastfeeding if you're really careful. Doing it while pregnant can be tricky. I wouldn't do that unless you're under the care of a doctor. There is a group called Keto Gains Baby on Facebook that can give you more information on that, but I don't necessarily recommend it. All right. Heavenly Homemaker says she has a hard time hiding her feelings too. I wish I didn't. I kind of got in trouble the last while, and it stressed me out even more because I was upset about things, but I was trying to keep my mouth shut about it. But apparently I'm sitting around just like, looking like that. I don't even know. How do I look when I'm mad? Probably like that. And everybody knows when they start coming up to me, are you peeved? What are you peeved about? And I'm like, well, I wasn't peeved, but I'm peeved now. I don't know. Sometimes I try to keep my feelings in, but they just out of me. It's just me, and that's who I am. Keto does help with conceiving, though. Like, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it during pregnancy, but for conceiving, keto has been known to be quite the miracle. Probably because losing weight can help your body get back into regular rhythm. And if you weren't ovulating for various reasons, sometimes going off of all of those grains and things like that can cause your cycle to get back to normal. I know it happened to a really good friend of mine, actually. She had been trying for 8 years, I think. I said 8 years. Oh my gosh. And all of a sudden she's been doing keto for weight loss and boom, baby. So exciting. Hey, Ailika, good to see you. LM says, I'm not looking forward to seeing all the food at Easter celebration. Why not? There's lots of food you can eat at Easter. Actually, I started keto in January of last year, so Easter is something I've definitely dealt with. Now, we do have the benefit of my mom decorates the Easter table, and my husband and I make Easter food. So think of it this way, like, don't think of what you can't have. Think of what you can have. So, of course, all of the yummy meats you can definitely have. We are personally going to be doing, I think my husband is doing a top round roast and a turkey. So we're going to have 2 different kinds of meat. We will be doing roasted cauliflower with cheese. We'll be doing some kind of keto-fied dessert. The only time I ever do desserts like cheesecakes and things like that is usually on special occasions. We're going to be doing some veggies, some salad. I mean, we're going to have really yummy food. We're going to do gravy thickened with a little xanthan gum, and it's going to be really good. It was really yummy last year, and I didn't feel deprived at all. I will be getting me some Lily chocolate bars, which I did not have last year because I wasn't yet doing any kind of treats. And maybe I'll even do like a cheesecake with Lily's chocolate in it or something. I mean, I don't see why you can not look forward to celebrating Easter. Now, if you're going to someone else's house, I highly recommend calling them up, asking what the menu is, and then planning accordingly. So if you call up and you find out that they are going to be putting sauce on the meat, I would bring my own safe veggies, bring my own keto dessert. even something simple as taking some heavy whipping cream, putting in a little stevia and some strawberries. And I have done that for so many parties, and you would not believe how many people eat that and think it's divine and have no idea it's sugar-free. So there's lots of things you can do if you're going to visit. But you know what? Tell them. There's nothing wrong with telling your family, this is what I'm doing. And you know what's really great is that even with my family, like my sister's doing it now and my mom too. So like it's kind of spreading a little bit. So maybe you can convert a few people. All right, let's see. Do I OMAD 1 meal a day? I do not. I tried a few times. The last year I did it every Thursday and it was just too hard to get my food in. So I eat a certain amount of food. If I'm going to eat OMAD, I have to eat all those macros in one meal, and that's hard. No, I can't do it without a protein shake, and I really don't like protein shakes. So I prefer to eat food. So I've been doing 2 meals, and that's what I do. All right. How do I make my Creo brew? French press or coffee maker? It tastes better in a French press, but I'm impatient, so I make mine in a coffee maker. I don't mind it being a little lighter on the chocolate flavor in order to not have to wait 10 minutes for the French press. All right. Let's see. Yeah, our bodies do have patterns. And what's really nice about being on YouTube and having to tell you guys every week what my weight is that I've become so aware of them. And now I'm able to go, oh, okay, my second week of the month is coming up. Be prepared to gain 4 pounds. And I can just expect that and not freak out over it. I don't know why my body does that. It just does. Sarah, pearls of wisdom. Don't tell me I'm wise. You're the most wise. I do feel thinner today. I really do. Oh, you know what? It was something so funny. So like last night I was laying on my back and I put my hands on my stomach and I was like, what the heck was that? Guys, it was my belly button. I have not ever seen my belly button as an adult. And my stomach was laying flat so you could actually see my belly button. And I was like, hey Dave, look at this. Creepy, right? He's like, that is pretty weird. He's never seen it either. He's like, whoa. And I'm like, look at that. You can actually see my belly button. I mean, granted, I was laying down, but I have, a bee belly. Even when I was pregnant, I never had that nice, pretty round belly. It was always a bee, bing, bing. And I've got this top roll that kind of over my belly button, even laying down. So, hey, non-scale victories. Look at that. I can see my belly button. Not when I'm standing up, though. Maybe someday. We'll see. All right. Alika says sometimes we just get into the fat burning mode and we drop really good and then it'll stall for a bit. And I agree with that. Yes. That definitely seems to happen. And I try not to panic over it because I've been at this for 15 months. And if you look at my little chart thing, it goes down, but there's lots of ups and downs, but it goes straight down. So I just have to keep trusting the process and just keep going. And it's just become so much my life that I really just don't even think about it that much anymore. When I can't track or when I'm too busy to track, I just know what's safe and what's not safe. So even if I maintained this month, it would have been fine because I would have been eating more fat. But maybe I ate more fat and my body dropped a lot. I ate more protein too, so I didn't really change my ratio. I'm guessing I probably still stayed about 55% fat and 39-ish protein or whatever it is and 6 carbs. But I don't know. But I'm glad you guys all think that I look skinnier. I think that's awesome. I definitely feel skinnier. Okay. I've noticed when I get a lot of protein, my blood glucose rises. That has been something that people have talked about for sure. If you're diabetic, it may be an issue. If you're not diabetic, it is not an issue. Don't worry about it. If you are diabetic, try to eat earlier in the day. Don't eat so late at night like me. In fact, all of you should probably eat earlier in the day. If you go to Optimal Ketogenic Living, they say you should do breakfast and lunch and not dinner for your circadian rhythms. But me, I just can't. I don't even get hungry till well afternoon. I mean, just not in the mood. So, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, like I definitely think that's a thing. But I'm telling, if you're not diabetic, you don't need to worry about it. It's not going to affect your ketosis. Hasn't affected my weight loss at all. And I sometimes have gone upwards to like, oh, I think the highest I've ever tracked was like 170 protein in a day. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to have to go, you guys. I'm supposed to be leaving right now. Do I count net carbs on my Lily bars? I do. That's cheating. I know it is. I always joke and say cocoa beans are veggies, right? I do. I totally do. But if it's a weakness and you're going to eat the whole bar, you should count total. Don't eat the whole bar. Eat 20 grams at a time. Divide it into thirds. Eat only a third. There you go. Okay. Oh, hey, my sister's here. Hi, baby sister. She says, I'm so glad you talked about cravings and how to face them. I'm 8 months strong on keto, 74 pounds down without falling off the wagon once, but I recently started having terrible sugar cravings. Have you done anything different? Are you eating more of things that maybe you shouldn't be eating more of? Did you recently introduce Lily bars into your diet? Things like that you got to take a look at. But yeah. Distract. Exercise your no muscle. Just say no. You do not need it. And, try not to feed them. The more, if you're craving chocolate, you should probably not eat chocolate. Whenever you see me eating chocolate, I wasn't really craving it. And especially if I was craving it because I was upset or stressed out, did not eat it. You don't want to connect those feelings with food anymore. Now, sometimes I'll just eat some chocolate because I need more fat, like yesterday. That's what I did. I had salmon for dinner, and we didn't have any dressing on it or mayonnaise with it, and I needed a whole crap ton of fat. So I ate a whole Lily bar last night. And you know what's really funny is that it was kind of gross, and I didn't really want to eat the whole thing, and I had to because I wanted to meet my fat and not be too low. So there you go. I wasn't eating it because I was wanting it. All right. Oh my gosh, Nona Grace, you actually made it here. Hello, sweetheart. That's fantastic. Angela, my sister, she says that she thinks it's because she's not fat anymore because she is now in the 160s and looking freaking awesome. And her brain's trying to convince her that it's okay. I am worried about that myself. I've never gotten that far. I totally get that. But yeah, I highly recommend don't give in. Make yourself a keto-fied dessert if you really, really want something sweet and you think that might help. But yeah, it's always best to just avoid them. Heidi asks, do I have a lot of extra loose skin? Oh man, I don't have a shirt on to show my arms very well. My arms are pretty loose. Yes, but I don't have as much as some I've seen. So I feel like I'm pretty blessed in the skin department. I'm not super worried about the skin. You know what though? I mean, your loose skin is your badge. Like, I don't want people walking around thinking I've been skinny my whole life. I want them to know where I've come from. When they see those rolls on my arms, they know I was giant. And there's no denying that. There's nobody that can say, you're fake, you're lying. Bullcrap. I have pictures and I have skin to prove it. It's my badge of honor. All right. Yes. All right, girlies. I really have to go. Dang it. So, okay. Yeah, okay, now we have naked people's penises coming up. So I think it's time to go. Anybody want to report that one for me so I don't have to look at it again? I would be really grateful. I love all of you guys. Next week, I'm going to be doing my live at 10:30 instead of 11, and it's going to be like that for the next 2 months. So keep an eye out for me early next week and the week after and all those weeks up until Shakespeare play comes up. I wish you guys all a beautiful and happy Easter and all the yummy keto goodies that Easter brings. And I hope that you're all blessed and that the Lord will bless you. And I love you all. And Nona, you're already here, so I can't tell you to wink at me or anything. But if you want to blow me a kiss, you can. Bye-bye. Maybe. Oh my gosh, this new phone. I didn't say my thing either, did I? I didn't say, that's all I have for you today. I'll talk to you again soon.